You know how some leaders just walk into a room and command attention even before they say a single word? We call that executive presence. But here's the thing, it's probably not what you think it is. It's not about being the loudest person or having the sharpest suit. Today we're going to tear down some of those old myths and show you what real presence is actually built on.
So let's start with the biggest misconception out there, that presence is just a performance, a show you put on for other people. But what if I told you the real goal isn't to add something, like confidence or charisma? What if the goal is actually to remove something from the listener's mind? This right here is a total shift in how we should think about it. Instead of focusing on your performance, trying to shine, think of your presence as a set of noise-canceling headphones for your audience. See, before you even open your mouth, they have all this noise in their heads: doubt, skepticism, questions. Real presence isn't about looking cool. It's about building so much trust that all that noise just fades away. And then, and only then, can they actually hear your message.
Okay, so if presence isn't a performance, then what is it? What's it built on? Well, it all comes down to one powerful word: credibility. And this isn't something you can just whip up at the last minute. Nope. It's a solid foundation you have to build over time. So let's take a look at how that structure really comes together.
This quote just nails it. Your credibility is the filter. When an audience sees you as credible, all that internal static they have, the "can I really trust this person?" or "what's the hidden agenda here?" it just disappears. The path for your message gets cleared before you even get to your main point.
And credibility isn't just some vague single thing. You should think of it like a really sturdy tripod. It needs all three legs to be strong and stable. If even one of those legs is weak or missing, the whole thing gets wobbly, and it's not going to be very reliable, is it?
The first leg of our tripod is expertise. This one's pretty straightforward. It's knowing your stuff inside and out. But pay close attention to the second part of that. Real experts are confident enough to say, "You know what, I don't have the answer for that right now, but I'll find out and get back to you." Trying to fake what you know just creates more noise. Admitting you don't know something, ironically, that builds massive trust.
Next up, pillar number 2, reliability. This is all about your track record. Plain and simple, do you do what you say you're going to do? Every time you keep a promise, every time you hit a deadline, you're adding another layer to this pillar. And over time, that creates a reputation that walks into the room before you do, making everything you say carry that much more weight.
And the third pillar, integrity. This one is about telling the truth, especially when it's tough. It's about not dodging the hard questions. It's not trying to spin or hide bad news. Integrity is the leg of the tripod that gets tested when the pressure is on. And honestly, it's the one that earns you the deepest, most lasting respect.
So here's how it all connects. It's like a chain reaction. The 3 pillars of the tripod, expertise, reliability, and integrity, they come together to build your credibility. That credibility then acts as the filter that cancels out the audience's internal noise. And it's only when that noise is gone that they become truly willing to listen. And that's where high-impact communication happens. You see why this is so important? All the presentation tricks in the world are useless if this foundational trust isn't there first.
All right, so you've done the hard work. You've built that solid foundation of credibility. So how do you, signal it? How do people feel it? That's where physical presence comes in. But remember this one crucial rule. These are tools to amplify the credibility you already have. They are not tools to fake something that isn't real.
We're going to zero in on 4 key physical amplifiers. You can think of these as the channels that broadcast your inner credibility out to the world. We're talking about your posture, your hands, your eyes, and of course, your voice.
Let's talk posture. The magic formula here is erect but relaxed. If you're standing ramrod straight and you're all stiff, you can come across as defensive or rigid. But if you're slouching, that just signals low energy, maybe even that you don't care. That sweet spot in the middle, erect but relaxed, it communicates both confidence and openness at the same time. It says, "I'm in control, but I'm also here with you." Okay, now for eye contact. And man, there is a massive difference between connecting with someone and intimidating them. What we're aiming for is soft contact, a gentle gaze that says, "I'm interested, I'm engaged, I'm listening." A hard stare, on the other hand, just feels aggressive. It creates pressure and immediately puts your audience on the defensive.
And your voice, think of it as the emotional soundtrack to your words. A flat, monotone delivery is the absolute enemy of engagement. It just tells everyone you're bored. So you gotta vary your pace, your volume, your pitch. And please, don't be afraid of the pause. A well-placed moment of silence can be more powerful than any word you could say. It gives your audience a second to really absorb what you just told them.
So, we've built the foundation, we've looked at the amplifiers, but what happens when the biggest obstacle is us? When our own internal state gets in the way and sabotages all that hard work? We have to talk about the two biggest inner enemies of presence.
I want you to really let this sink in. This might be the most important idea in this entire explainer. Audiences will forgive you for being nervous. They really will. It's human. They'll forgive a shaky voice, a forgotten word. But what they will not forgive is falseness. That feeling that you're being phony, that you're not being real. That is an instant connection killer.
So where does that killer falseness even come from? Well, it's usually born from one of two things. Either you're trying to be someone you're not, putting on some kind of professional persona that isn't you, or you're being dishonest about your content. Either way, your audience can feel it, and that invisible wall goes up almost instantly.
The other enemy is just plain old nervousness. And while it's forgivable, its symptoms can really distract from your message. So here's a quick toolkit. If you speak too fast when you're nervous, practice building in deliberate pauses. Just breathe. If your hands get all fidgety, give them a job to do. Clasp them together, or rest them firmly on a table to anchor yourself. And if you use filler words like or start training yourself to replace them with a powerful moment of silence. And here is a critical, non-negotiable rule. Never, ever start by saying, "Sorry, I'm a little nervous," or "I'm not very good at public speaking," but you are literally handing your audience a reason not to trust you. You completely undermine all the credibility you've worked so hard to build. Just start. Don't apologize. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. We've completely redefined presence, we've built its true foundation, and we've learned how to manage ourselves. So let's bring it all together and add one last, really crucial modern perspective.
This is so incredibly important to today's world. The old school rules of physical presence, like maintaining constant, direct eye contact, they don't apply to everyone. For neurodivergent people, and that can include people on the autism spectrum, or with ADHD or social anxiety, these cues can show up very differently. A lack of eye contact doesn't mean dishonesty, fidgeting doesn't signal disrespect. Real presence requires empathy and an awareness that we all communicate differently.
So, let's wrap it all up. Remember that huge mental shift? Your goal is noise cancellation, not putting on a performance. That all starts with your unshakable foundation of credibility, built on that tripod. From there, you use your physical tools simply to amplify what's already true about you. And above all else, the golden rule is this: always prioritize authenticity over trying to be perfect.
And that brings us to one final question for you to think about. In your own life, in your meetings, your presentations, your everyday conversations, is the presence you're putting out there truly canceling noise and building trust? Or is it possible that it's creating more static of its own? The answer to that question is the real key to unlocking your true executive presence.